everybody. Welcome back to the Green Light.
Green light.
You got Jackson here.
And Lauren.
And we are sitting here. It is Tuesday night, which
November 3rd.
normally Tuesday nights are
fine.
just, relaxing. Get off work, hang out a little bit, record a little bit of a podcast.
I'd say this is quite possibly the least relaxing Tuesday I've ever had.
Yeah. So if you don't know, if you're not in the States or if you are living underneath a rock, Tuesday night, this past Tuesday night now, I'm speaking from the present and also the past because when people will be listening to this, it is election night tonight. So, we've been keeping up with that, kind of trying to distract ourselves, kind of trying to stay current, but we are still here. We are bringing you some green light content no matter what. We stick through it. That's what you can count on.
I have been on the brink of throwing up for about 4 hours, so that's where I am.
Yeah, so it is a tough time for a lot of people, for sure.
Yeah.
I hope now, once again, we don't know how the world is going to look even on Friday when this comes out.
Yeah.
So, take care of yourself, be safe.
Yeah.
Protect your loved ones.
I'd say, honestly, there's been a lot of discussion about either way the presidential race turns out, there will probably be a lot of unrest and tension in the next 3 months.
Sure.
So be safe, take care of yourselves.
Yeah. As if a national pandemic, a global pandemic wasn't enough.
Enough reason to hunker down, yeah.
But the good news is we're getting into the holiday season.
Yeah, that's good.
I guess you could kind of include Halloween in the holiday season, but it's officially
consider
Christmas.
Halloween to be part of the holiday season.
It's officially Christmas now, Lauren. Okay. We're going to take a 3-day break for Thanksgiving, and then we're going to come back, and it's going to be Christmas again. But this is, like, hands down my favorite time of the year. It is a bit unfortunate. LA is great, but you don't really get much of a season change here. Like, it's definitely gotten a little cooler.
Well, it just gets, like, it's kind of, 75 most of the year.
Yeah,
and then in, like, August, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It is hell.
Yeah.
And then...
Exactly.
Yeah, aside from that, it's pretty much the same.
But yeah, it's getting a little cooler, and in regards to the green light, what that means for us is, especially as we start getting into December, maybe even late November, maybe our detours will start shifting a little bit Christmassy. Maybe a little bit fun, a little bit of deck the halls.
Whenever we decide to start
bells.
watching bad holiday movies here is when they will turn Christmassy.
Yes, correct. And good holiday movies, because I like those as well. But we'll get into that. But so it's early November. Just a few quick housekeeping things, because this is going to be maybe a bit of a longer episode, because our excerpt of a script that we have, which is, by the way, our script is Broke In by Mark Osborne.
We're reading an excerpt of a feature.
Reading an excerpt of a featured length this week. So that's what we have on the docket. Have a couple detours, and then an interview with Mark, which is fantastic. But yeah, follow us on socials, please.
Yeah.
Please. At Who Is That...
Nope. TGL_pod on Instagram and Twitter.
Now that I said Who Is That Pod, we have another podcast.
Listen to Who Is That, the Masked Singer podcast.
We love the Masked Singer so much that we just want to talk about every week.
Not the official Masked Singer podcast, because apparently some people got confused about that.
Yeah, we got a salty review
We are
from
not
someone
the one
about that.
We are not the one hosted by Lil Bow Wow, sadly.
Unfortunately.
I wish he would come on our show to discuss.
Yeah, that would have been better instead of him just trying to take over. But if you like the Masked Singer, watch us, listen to us over there. Watch us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel now.
Or really just listen on YouTube for now.
Yeah, exactly. No new reviews, so but review us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts.
Tell us what your favorite Thanksgiving food is, because we're in that season now.
That
we'll read them for the next few weeks.
Yeah, we would be happy to do that. Or comment on any of our social media posts, whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's it, right? That's all housekeeping.
Also,
I'm ready to move past housekeeping.
Okay, that's fine. Also, we do have a Patreon, so
yes, that's a big one.
If you want
money, please.
Awesome bonus content, we have some green lit episodes. We have a road trip out there.
Yeah,
we're doing another one pretty soon for the end of the year.
Yeah,
so
and another greenlit episode for this month as well. I've started to really enjoy those greenlit episodes.
Those have quickly become my favorite thing.
Yeah, and we also have a little fact section at the beginning, which is like trivia about the movie and stuff, which I really enjoy. But so yes, that's what you can look forward to on Patreon. Okay, we're done. Housekeeping done. Now we're moving on to more of the meat, more of the bulk of the show. Now we're going to get into our detours of the week. So this is a segment where we talked about things that we have consumed in the past week. So Lauren, how about you go first? I'll go second,
mine's
and then
a little
we'll tie it out
timely,
together.
I guess. So, I'm actually only like 70% of the way through this book, but I'm trucking along. It's a pretty quick read. But I have been reading Untrumping America by Dan Pfeiffer. Dan Pfeiffer, you may or may not know, is one of the 4 hosts of Pod Save America, which is a political podcast. That
we feel comfortable shouting them out
regularly
because they are not in our wheelhouse. We're not directly competing.
Yeah, we're not competing with Pod Save America. And Dan Pfeiffer and Jon Favreau, John Lovett, Tommy Vitor, they were all advisors to President Obama while he was in office. They also worked on both his initial campaign and his re-election campaign. Dan Pfeiffer basically wrote a book about, what the two-party system looks like right now, how to shift that, just talking about how, Trump, our current president, hopefully soon to not be our current president, is not an aberration, but is more of a reflection of issues in the party as a whole. And basically just talking about how we can fix that, how we can not just get the country back to where it was, because that still wasn't really equitable or just for a lot of people, but getting the country to a much better place and truly untrumping America. So I've really been enjoying this so far. All of the hosts of Pod Save America really present politics in a very accessible way. And he does talk about in the book that pundits want you to think that politics is really hard to understand and use all kinds of jargon when it's really not that complicated. This book is really interesting because it came out in February. So, and the book is largely talking about, what should Biden's campaign do? Biden wasn't even the nominee yet, but what should the Democratic nominee for president do in the months leading up to the election? What should Senate races do, et cetera, leading up to the election? And obviously that's changed a lot because this was pre-pandemic. So there are a lot of things that are a little bit different, but a lot that still really rings true. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I will say it might not be the best read for your mental health right this second.
Sure.
But maybe once the election has wound down a little bit, it is still a good read for after the election, because not all of it is about what should be done in the months between February and November this year. Mm-hmm. A lot of it is work that has to continue after. And I've learned a lot just about how deep-seated some of the institutions within the more conservative demographic of the U.S., I guess, like how deep-seated some of those institutions are. And it's a little scary. So, give it a read. You can get it on Kindle. You can also get a physical book, I think, but the Kindle version is cheaper. Mm-hmm. And check it out. Yeah,
that's great. That is great. So now I guess it is my turn, correct? Yeah, so I've been watching, I guess, for the past couple weeks, I guess, a little series on Netflix hosted by a former teeny bopper, now turned relatively serious actor, Zac Efron. The show is called Down to Earth with Zac Efron. Now, here is the synopsis of it. In this travel show, actor Zac Efron journeys around the world with wellness expert Darren Olean in search of healthy, sustainable ways to live. Now, you look at the beginning and you're like, oh, it's a travel show, whatever, it's Zac Efron now, if you like Zac Efron, which I do, you're gonna like the show, but otherwise it's whatever. However, I'm just because I really enjoy the show. I think partially because it is a great sort of escape during these still turbulent times. It's also kind of cool to be able to watch someone actually be able to travel because, we really can't do that now. Yeah. But even further than that, I sort of just like the perspective this show took. Now, granted, this isn't necessarily the best in terms of, like, it's not going to blow your mind with the information that it gives you. But I really enjoy the perspective of, like, the wellness aspect of it and, like, the sustainability, the aspect of it, okay. The way that they took it from that perspective. I thought it was really cool. And one of the things that I liked about it, and I've read some reviews on it, and some people didn't like this, but I actually sort of took it as sort of a strength of the show, is that a lot of people are like, oh, Zac Efron's the worst person to do this, because the only thing he ever responds with from these people is like, oh, wow, or like, amazing, bro. And it's like, sure, to a certain extent, maybe someone else could offer more deeper, insightful remarks or questions to the people they're interviewing.
But I almost feel like the audience is Zac Efron in this case.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. No, you're fine. But if you look at it from that perspective, and you look at it from the general population that's going to be watching this, like you said, Lauren, they are Zac Efron.
It's like you're learning along with him.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's cool because I feel like it could be taken from a different perspective if you did have like a whether it be a climate expert or like a food expert, whatever, going, and they would be like, oh, this show is too pretentious. Yeah. I really like the way that it really did feel like down to earth. Like it felt like you were hanging out with Zac Efron. And, even though, I am a college educated man, and there are still a lot of things that I learned from this show, and I would still probably be reacting the same way he did. A lot of the reasons because it's just, you're experiencing an entire different culture. And I'm sure every single person on these IMDb reviews have just been everywhere and know everything. But I feel like we're kind of desensitized because we see it through a screen and we're like, oh, have a better response. But sometimes it is just in the moment, you can just be in awe.
Like, wow.
Yeah, genuine awe and genuine amazement. So I really enjoyed it. It's fun. It takes it from pretty much half of the show is from a sustainability perspective. The other half is from like a health and wellness in regards to like food perspective. So you get like half on each episode. I liked Zach and Darren's chemistry. And it's a good show. Once again, it's not necessarily going to blow your mind, but it's a fun thing to watch, a fun escape. You'll have a good time watching it. And if you like Zac Efron, you're going to like this show. I don't know.
Going back to mine, this one is probably a little better for your mental health now.
Yeah, definitely would be a good one for that old mental health. So, Lauren and I also watched a movie that's Down to Earth with Zac Efron. It's on Netflix, by the way.
Is it a Netflix original series?
It is a Netflix original series. Yes. But, so those are our two individuals.
Yeah. Moving on to a brand new animated musical movie that just came out. Mm-hmm. Over the Moon, also on Netflix.
Yes. And the synopsis for this one is, in this animated musical, a girl builds a rocket ship and blasts off, hoping to meet a mythical moon goddess in hopes to she wants to prevent
her dad from remarrying after her mother passed away 4 years ago.
Yes. And that's in the very beginning of the movie.
That's in the very beginning.
It has a very Up-like opening sequence.
Yeah, well, this movie...
Up the Pixar film.
It is Up meets Frozen meets the Netflix version of The Little Prince.
Yeah, sure.
IMO. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a lot of mythology in this movie. So the big thing is that there's a moon goddess named Chang'e who is basically stuck on the moon forever waiting for the return of her one true love, Hoi, I think?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. So that's basically the gist of it. And she is trying to prove that Chang'e is real to get her dad to remember her mother, basically wait for, basically to say, oh, well, true love lasts forever, you shouldn't be getting remarried.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of her goal. But it's really a movie about her, getting over her mother's death, being able to realize...
finding that acceptance herself.
Well, right. Being able to realize she's still with her, being able to kind of move on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, there are some, it's low-key a star-studded cast, truthfully.
It is, yeah.
You have John Cho, Margaret Cho, Sandra Oh.
There are some rhymes there.
Yeah, right. Philippa Sue.
Yeah.
There are a lot
Ken
of...
Jeong.
Yeah, Ken Jeong. I knew I was forgetting someone. But I really enjoyed this, and I think I enjoyed it a little more than Lauren. It's another one that would be a good for your mental health during this time, because it's definitely like a warm fuzzy type movie. Obviously if you can get past the first 10 minutes,
sure.
it's a warm fuzzy type movie. It's fun. It's not gonna blow you away, truthfully. Not gonna lie.
I think I think it's definitely good, especially from a representation standpoint.
Yeah, it's great.
But yeah, I just don't think plot wise there's a whole lot of original stuff in this.
Sure.
I guess. I wasn't a huge fan of, I don't know, I just didn't think the songs were incredibly well written or anything.
Sure.
But again, it's a good family movie, good heartwarming thing, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I also think I like the music a little more than Lauren did.
I'm very picky about that kind of thing.
Lauren is very picky about that sort of thing.
So don't take what I say with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I mean,
guess.
I'll say in support of your point that I don't really remember any of the songs, and I don't think any of the songs are going to stick with me.
Yeah, I'm not going to go back and, like, listen to anything.
Yeah, I didn't think they took away from the movie. I thought they were, they were good for what they were.
Yeah,
and
Philippa
Sue
has a beautiful voice, which I appreciated.
If you want to hear Philippa Sue sing for an hour and a half, this movie is perfect for you.
She's not quite singing for an hour and a half, but yes.
It was exaggeration, Lauren. It was hyperbole, if you will. But, it's good. There are some adorable,
Gobi is very
animals.
Cute. Yeah. Bungie is also very cute.
Bungie's adorable. Yeah, so it's fun for that. And once again, this would be a good one to watch for kids and, if you got a family.
Yeah.
This would be a great one for you. And it's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of heart. Maybe not the most original. You can tell it draws inspiration from like Disney, Pixar movies, stuff like that. I wouldn't say it quite reaches the heights of some of your favorite Pixar Disney movies.
Yeah.
However, still enjoyable. Still a fun watch. That's Over the Moon, a 2020 film, just came out on Netflix.
Yes.
So, that was tight. That was a tight 16 minutes.
Yeah, well, we were trying to, like we said, our script excerpt is a little longer, and then our interview is roughly half an hour.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were trying to keep our intro a little tight.
Yeah, and that we did. So,
we did.
Coming up next, we have Broke In by Mark Osborne, read by yours truly.
And me, and Bailey Elrod
Bailey
as well.
Elrod is back on the show, yes. So
I was like, yours truly, I felt like meant both of us, so I was like, I'm confused.
I was saying yours truly for me. I was hoping you would pick that up and be like, and yours truly, but...
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Whatever. But yes, coming up next...
stressed.
That's fair. We will be roughly the same amount of stressed, but we'll also be reading a script, so
Yay.
See you then.
See you then. Back to the green light.
Green light?
Green light.
Hey-o. There's some energy right there from our special guest today, Bailey Elrod, a recurring guest of the program. Bailey, how are you today?
I'm doing just all right.
That is
just okay.
That is appropriate.
For everyone listening, we are recording this on Tuesday, which is election night if you are in the United States, and all of our nerves are through the roof. So hopefully by the time this episode comes out, we will know what's going on, but we don't know.
Yeah, but we're still providing you with a good story here.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No matter what. Yeah. Thank us, please.
Yeah. What is film and theater if not escapism?
That's true.
Plus commentary. It's many things, but escapism is the most important right now.
Yeah, on that list, escapism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So let's jump into it. The script we're reading today is Broke In by Mark Osborne. I will be reading for the character of John Lucalo, 37, handsome.
Are we reading the whole character descriptions?
No.
Okay. I'll be reading for Elaine Spivell, 33, petite.
Nice.
And I will be reading for action lines.
And there are a lot
regular.
of them. Yes. So pray for Bailey.
Yes.
All right. Interior John's bathroom. Day. John Lucalo, 37, handsome and not the most educated fella, stares into a smudged mirror. He has beard stubble and wears just boxers. Hip-hop music softly plays from the next-door apartment. The sound of firecrackers intermittently blasting away is heard throughout this epic. John opens his medicine cabinet. Interior Elaine's bathroom. Day. Elaine Spivell, 33, petite, looks around in her opened medicine cabinet. She only wears a bra and underwear. Elaine looks like she's been sobbing and not sleeping for 2 days, which she has. She closes her medicine cabinet, yawns, looks at her reflection in the mirror, and is not impressed. She wryly smiles and exhales upward, making her forehead bangs flutter. Interior John's bathroom. Day. He puts on a soiled white wool hat as he looks in the mirror.
Man, it's July 4th and 100 degrees outside. Why am I dressing for January 1st and 4 degrees? And this hat is so yuck.
He shakes his head in disgust and puts on a frayed and grimy New York Yankee baseball cap. He is satisfied in his look and leaves the bathroom. Interior Elaine's bathroom, day. She turns on her bathwater and stares at the bathtub filling up with soap bubbles. Interior John's bathroom, day. He turns on the shower, then runs his right hand through it. He removes his Yankee cap, leans over and sticks his face in the running water for 5 seconds. He places his baseball cap under the shower water, fills it up with water, then plops it on his head. The water pours down his face. Interior Elaine's bathroom, day. She reaches into her cabinet, removes a new bottle of mouthwash, cracks it open, chugs a mouthful, gargles, spits it out, and then tosses the filled bottle in the wastebasket. Interior John's bathroom, day. He reaches into his medicine cabinet, removes a shot bottle of brandy, swallows a mouthful, then gargles a mouthful, spits it in the sink, and throws the bottle in his wastebasket. Hip-hop music continues to softly play. He leaves the bathroom, returns, and annoyingly bangs on the radiator pipe with the shot bottle.
What's with that music over there?
A beat. The softly played music now gets played very loud.
Much better, Tyrone. Thanks, dude.
Tyrone bangs back twice. John taps back twice, leaves the bathroom smiling, his head bobbing to the music. His cell phone rings. He reaches into his back pocket, sees who it is, rolls his eyes, and then lets his phone pick up. Close up, small cutting knife. It slices into a cucumber on a cutting board. A glass of red wine is by the board. Interior Elaine's kitchen, day. Her cell phone lying by her cutting board dings. She picks it up, reads it, disgusted, and texts. She leaves the kitchen, goes into the living room, and disgustedly tosses the phone on her couch. Close up, cell phone screen. A text message to her reads, "Call me." She types out her reply. Again, no more calls/texts, please. We are talked out. Interior Elaine's bathroom, day. She enters the bathroom carrying 2 round slices of cucumbers and the knife on a small plate. She puts the plate on the edge of the bathtub, removes her bathrobe, then enters and lies down in the filled tub. She places the cucumbers on her closed eyes and uncomfortably blinks. She removes the cucumbers from her eyes and eats them. Interior John's kitchen, day. John, now wearing jeans and a t-shirt that reads Louise Landscapers, stares at his grungy opened fridge. It holds 1/3 of a loaf of rye bread, a packet of bologna, and a quart carton of chocolate milk. The egg compartment on the inside of the door holds 1 egg. Scattered in the compartment are soy, duck sauce, and Chinese food takeout mustard packets. He chugs the milk from its carton, then throws it out. He smells the stale loaf of bread, then tentatively takes 2 slices from the middle of the loaf and puts them on the counter. He throws the rest of the bread away in a nearby garbage can. He tentatively smells the bologna. He takes 2 slices of bologna from the middle of the packet, plops them on the bread slices, and throws the rest of the bologna away. He takes a pack of mustard and squeezes it on his opened sandwich. He takes a bite out of his low-life lunch, makes a disgusted face, and spits his mouthful of sandwich into a garbage can, then throws the rest away. He reaches into a cabinet and takes out a Slim Jim beef jerky wrapped in plastic. He dunks it in the jar of mustard, takes a bite out of it. Satisfied. Interior John's living room, day. He sits on a sofa and now wears a black leather jacket as he checks his cell phone. An old Playboy magazine is on a cushion next to him. A photograph by a lamp shows him with 2 young boys. Interior Elaine's bathroom, day. She exhales and notices the knife on the edge of the bathtub. She picks at her nails with it, then ever so slowly brings the blade to her wrist. She smiles and shakes her head.
Who would want to kill themselves like this, when there's less painful ways to slowly die? Like living.
Interior Elaine's bathroom, day. She puts the knife back down on the plate. Interior John's living room, day. He looks through a cluttered toolbox on his lap and sits on the edge of his sofa.
Damn it, where did I put it?
He drops the toolbox on the floor.
Think, man, it's gotta be here somewhere.
He sits back on the sofa cushion, then jumps up.
Whoa, there it is.
He reaches behind the cushion and removes an awl, an international kind, and a bunch of Star Wars Lego pieces. He stands, rubbing his butt in slight pain. He reaches behind the cushion and now holds a handful of the Lego pieces in his hand.
This is what I get for getting limited child visitation rights.
He tosses the Lego pieces aside, puts on large sunglasses, and sticks the awl in the lining of his jacket. Interior kitchen, day. He picks up a dirty plate, turns on his faucet, wets a dish, and then puts it in a dish rag to dry. He washes another dish and 2 forks, tossing the silverware into the rack. He reaches into his sink filled with dirty dishes and removes a pair of soaked rubber dishwashing gloves. He wrings them out, rolls them up, and jams them into his back pocket. Sound effects. Soapy bathwater going down a drain. Interior Elaine's bathroom, day. Elaine is out of the tub and wears a bathrobe. The water gurgles down her tub's drain. A glass of water is on her sink.
Screw all this restless sleep. I just gotta sleep real good for a change.
She reaches into her bathrobe pocket. She removes a vial of pills as she yawns. She stares at the vial, wondering what will be her next move. Elaine exhales, opens the vial, and shakes pills into her palm. Interior John's bathroom, day. John puts on a super fake, white, worn, bushy mustache on and looks in the mirror.
Time to get a new mustache. I look like the rich guy on the Monopoly board, damn.
He removes the mustache and simply pulls his black leather jacket's collar up so it covers the lower half of his face, as he checks himself out one last time in the mirror.
There I go. Time to work, dog. Get it!
He leaves the bathroom. Interior John's living room, day. He puts on a backpack and carries a huge, empty laundry bag. He leaves his apartment. A beat. He comes back in, goes to his kitchen, grabs a box of hefty bags, and peels 5 off. He jams the bags in his backpack, then spots a desk holding a lamp, a stuffed, letter-sized envelope, which he shoves in his back pocket. He grabs a cane leaning in the corner of the room, then opens his apartment's door. As soon as he leaves his apartment, he walks with a noticeable limp. His cell phone rings. He answers it.
Can't talk now. I'm on my way to work. Have a nice day.
He hangs up. Firecrackers go off extra loud. Exterior street, day. John wearing sunglasses, a baseball cap, and his jacket's collars covering half his face, limps down the city streets, using his cane for support. He checks out apartment buildings as he walks. Firecrackers occasionally go off. He sees a pizza delivery man approach the front door of a building. In front of the building is a discarded couch with a homeless man sleeping on it, surrounded by hefty bags filled with garbage. The man wears a turtleneck shirt pulled up over his face, so as all that is seen is the top of his head. A cardboard sign in front of the sofa reads, "Homeless and Veteran." A styrofoam cup with a dollar bill sticking out of it is seen on the sidewalk in front of the couch. John drops a $10 bill in the cup. John looks at a building, jimmies its front door with an awl to open it, and steps in. Interior elevator, day. John is the only one in the elevator. He removes his sunglasses. He looks at the floor number's buttons.
Let's roll with...
He closes his eyes. Close up, his index finger. It hovers up and down the numbers. It stops at 7. He opens his eyes and sees his finger is on 7.
Lucky 7 for good luck.
He presses 7.
I hope.
Close up Elaine's face, which has her eyes closed. Camera pulls back to show she lies in her tub, a towel lying on top of her body, and looking very dead. Interior building hallway, day. He strolls the hallway, holding his cane, and whistles a happy tune. Suddenly he trips on a bag of recyclable bottles in a bag left in the hallway. Sound effects. A dog barks, unnerving him. He sees a quarter-filled pint bottle of vodka amongst the recyclables. He puts it in one of his jacket's pockets.
Wussy hipster pigs. They think they're too good to finish backwash.
He approaches the door with a bumper sticker on it. Close up on bumper sticker. It reads, "Where the hell is Easy Street?"
If I knew, I wouldn't be doing this.
Interior hallway door, day. He removes his rubber dishwashing gloves and slips them on, only to find that the ends of 7 of the fingers are frayed and have holes.
So much for not leaving fingerprints.
He sinks his hands lower in the gloves so as his fingertips won't leave any prints and are covered by rubber. He puts his palms on the door and pushes it slightly to deduce.
Oh, sweet. A credit card door. Finally. An easy one.
As he puts his ear against the door, his cell phone rings, unnerving him. He pulls it out of his pocket and turns it off.
Man, I am the worst burglar to walk the face of this earth.
He rings the doorbell and waits. Silence. He knocks on the door. Silence. He again puts his ear to the door and removes his wallet.
What's with hipsters? They live in super expensive cities but have super cheap locks? Hipster scum, they'll never learn that.
He then quickly removes a credit card from his wallet, slides it by the side of the door, then its lock, and jiggles the doorknob.
You can't trust nobody.
He turns the doorknob. No luck, it's still locked. He takes out his awl, jams it by the door's lock, and turns the doorknob. The door opens. Interior Elaine's living room. Day. As he places the awl in his back pocket that holds the envelope he earlier shoved in there, he tiptoes in to see the living room holds an easy chair, a couch, and a coffee table. The apartment's immaculately tidy and is filled with bookcases holding books. A ukulele and guitar stand in two corners. He stops walking with a limp and drops his cane on the floor. On the wall are posters and postcard-sized pictures of died too young musicians. Hank Williams, Kurt Cobain, Charlie Parker, Buddy Holly, Amy Winehouse, etc., and doomed writers' poets. For example, Federico Garcia Lorca, Sylvia Plath, Edgar Allan Poe. He removes the postcard picture of Lorca and puts it in his pocket.
Maybe I can make some money off this Jim Morrison picture.
On a cluttered coffee table is an iPad, a box of tissues, a sharp cutting knife, an empty wine bottle and a stack of books, a bowl of pretzels, and slices of Swiss cheese on a plate.
This ain't no rich hipster trust fund apartment. Dude looks poorer than me. If that's possible. If he had any common sense, he should be breaking into my apartment now.
He notices a photograph by a lamp of Elaine with her mom and a man, whose face has been scissored out of the picture.
I mean, she'd be breaking in. I can relate, girl. Her ex is probably my ex's brother.
He notices 5 filled hefty bags with yellow masking tape on their sides. They have written on them, "To Salvation Army."
She's spring cleaning in summer, huh?
John takes a hefty bag out of his back pocket and walks to a desk. On top of the desk, he sees a stack of spiral notebooks, all titled, "My Self-Indulgent Autobiography." He flips through a notebook.
Great. She's a writer and a songwriter, too. So much for a lot of money being here. Damn.
He closes the notebook, then takes another notebook, opening it and shaking it to see if any money is hidden in it. No luck. He slams it shut. Close up Elaine's face. Her eyelids spring up as the notebook closes. Interior bathroom. Day. Elaine wobbly stands in her empty tub when she hears approaching footsteps. The only light in the bathroom comes from a small window. She stands, tiptoes to the door, puts her ear against it, then looks at the bottom of the door. In the door's crack, she can see John's feet walk by. Her hands cover her mouth, stunned.
Oh my god, a burglar's in here.
Her towel that covered her body falls to the floor. Elaine grabs her bathrobe on the floor, goes in a fetal position, covers herself with the bathrobe, and huddles in a corner. The door opens. He glances inside for a few seconds, not seeing her behind the door. The door closes. She removes her bathrobe cover to show she is miffed. Elaine notices the knife on the bathtub, grabs it, and waits by the door, ready to stab anyone who enters. She sees his feet's shadow go by the bottom of the door again. She looks at the small knife and shakes her head in disgust.
God, some weapon. What are you gonna do, Elaine? Clean his fingernails? And your phones and guns and bullets are out there and...
His footsteps fade away. She slowly opens the door and peeks around the corner.
He's in the kitchen.
She leaves the bathroom, now in her bathrobe, and tiptoes the opposite way, down a hallway. Close up, cookie jar. A kitschy jar, i.e. Elvis head. John reaches in and removes a cookie and shovels it in his mouth.
Delish. I'm coming back here again and eat the rest.
Interior kitchen. Day. John notices on the refrigerator door.
What the hell?
Close up, calendar on refrigerator. For each day, it has written on it, sleep/write. On July 4th, it has Suicide Day.
She's wasting herself today?
Camera pans to July 11th. On it is written, "My funeral."
And her funeral's next week? At least she's prepared. I'll pay my respects then. If she pays me now.
Interior kitchen, day. He opens a kitchen drawer.
If she's suiciding today, then this whack job don't need her silverware.
He's disappointed to see in the drawer nothing but plastic forks, sporks, and spoons.
Huh? Plasticware?
He slams the drawer shut.
Goddamn creative people, they're always poor.
He notices a half-filled glass of wine and an opened bottle of wine on the counter. He swigs the glass of wine, then grabs the opened bottle of wine. Interior bedroom, day. Elaine, now in her bedroom, slowly opens her top bureau drawer, located next to her bed.
Of all the days to get robbed, he does this one? That bastard, if he thinks...
Inside the drawer are 2 guns, a dusty 9mm and a 38mm. She nervously grabs both, then fumbles and drops the 38 to the floor. Her fingers go inside her ears, expecting it to go off.
I better take the smaller one, just to wound him. Real bad.
She grabs the 9mm. She takes a deep breath and walks toward her door. As she leaves, she notices the 38 still on the floor. She kicks it so it slides under her bed.
Here it goes.
Interior living room, day. One of John's hefty bags is nearly filled. He takes a swig from the bottle of wine, removes the bottle of vodka and swallows a mouthful, using the vodka as his chaser. He puts the guitar in one bag, then notices the ukulele.
If only this half of a guitar was a whole guitar, I'll make a whole lot more, man.
He bags the ukulele, then sees the iPad on the coffee table and tosses it in the bag. He takes the knife on the coffee table and stabs a slice of cheese. He notices a legal-sized notepad with writing on it besides the cheese. He picks it up and reads it, slightly shocked, the knife and cheese still in his hand. He sits on the couch.
Wow, look what she writes. I thought I was messed up.
In the background and out of focus is Elaine. He looks over the paper and Elaine is now in focus, a gun in her hand and pointing at him, startling him.
Jesus, you scared the shit out of me!
You break into my apartment and you're the one who's scared? Hands the fuck up, asshole.
Close up John's opened eyes. They slowly close. Darkness on screen.
Oh no. Please don't be here when I open my eyes.
His eyes open and the screen leaves darkness to show interior living room, day. Elaine holds a 9mm in her right hand and aims it at him.
Huh. Hi?
I said hands up.
He raises his hands in the air, still holding the knife and the speared cheese.
Think holding a gun is, ladylike?
I'll ignore that borderline sexist comment. Hands up, now!
He leaves the couch, then stands on his tiptoes.
They up high enough now?
Yes, now just drop it.
What, the cheese or the knife?
Both.
He drops the knife, which has a shish kebabbed the cheese, on the floor.
How did you get in here?
I slid a credit card on your door, then Oh, what are you doing in here?
I live here, do you?
What? But I didn't see or hear you. Wait, were you in the bathroom hiding on me?
What would you do if a burglar broke into your place and you were sort of naked in a bathroom?
I guess I didn't look in the bathroom too good. Guess I'm not too thorough.
She notices the bottle of vodka jutting out of his jacket's pocket.
Maybe you would be if you weren't drinking on your job.
He sees her looking at his bottle of vodka, looks at the bottle, and smiles.
Thanks for the professional advice. Well, I learned my lesson, and I won't rob you again, so I'll leave, because I work as a birthday party clown, and I got a couple of kids to scare there, so
Just put your hands flat on your head, you.
I'm not a you. I do have a name.
Oh, and I have a few 4-letter names for you.
My 4-letter name's John. John Lucalo, glad to meet you, and...
He slowly walks backwards towards the front door.
I hope we meet again under different circumstances. Maybe in a speed dating thing, or a Kava-Con thing, or something like that.
He suddenly reaches into his back pocket and slowly removes the awl, causing the envelope in his pocket to fall to the floor. He whips the awl at her. The awl flies through the air and lands in a binder of one of the books on a bookcase, a foot from her shoulder. As firecrackers go off, she fires her gun 3 times, just as his hand goes on her doorknob to flee the joint. One bullet creases his right cheek. He falls to his knees by the door. He touches his face, now marked with a blackened streak. Elaine is pleasantly surprised and looks at the gun. Close up, bullet hole. 3 bullet holes are now in a wall. End excerpt.
Hey everybody, welcome back to The Green Light.
Green Light?
We are here with our writer of the week, Mark Osborne, the writer of Broke In. How are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for letting me on your show. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. So
We're glad to have you.
I have one quick question for you, Mark. So Osborne, sure. Any relation to Ozzy or potentially the Green Goblin?
If I was related to Ozzy, I wouldn't be doing this show right now. I'll be telling you funny,
That's very fair. That is very fair.
Actually, that's my mother's maiden name, and I'm doing this under a pseudonym, but I'll tell you later about it.
Oh, okay.
I got hacked one time, and
wow.
Images and other stuff were taken, and it's not fun, so I'm just doing this. But I'll give a shout-out to my real name once I get to know you guys better.
Okay,
sure.
Sounds great. Mark Osborne is a very cool name to pick, so props to you for that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's my Irish side, a little shout-out to that, you know.
There you go. Exactly.
All right, so this is our first question that we always ask every single guest. Give us your writer origin story.
Oh, wow. I just wake up at night with just jot stuff down all the time. I've been writing since I was, a long time since I got a compliment. And once you get one compliment, you keep going because in my family, compliments are far and few between, you know. And I just get these little images in my head. I just write down stuff all the time. Hopefully it'll click with a working or paying audience one day. And I do freelance right now, actually, for a website called Culture Sonar. I write little music tidbits and stuff to the baby boomer set, which I'm in, you know. And I've been writing forever, man. So hopefully I'd like to get something on the screen one day.
Yeah.
Before I joined Sean Connery today, you know.
Absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. I love how you talk about just writing down little tidbits that you think of in the middle of the night, because that is so me. You know, I mention a lot of times on the show that I have written very little in my lifetime, but that is exactly how my inspiration comes. I'll have a dream or something, and I'll be like, I gotta write this down, or I'm gonna forget by the time it's the morning.
Yeah, I feel like
absolutely. I'm in the shower. I wish I had I could write on the ceiling with waterproof paper sometimes.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Run out.
Just write on the shower wall and hope the steam doesn't dissipate by the time you get out.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I get spray paint, just do that on the wall.
Exactly.
There you go.
Perfect. Were you going to say something,
Tag
Lauren?
my wall.
Oh, yeah. Well, I feel like I have the same thing with dreams, but then, I'll write them down and be like, this was such a crazy dream. Wow. And then I'll go back to sleep, wake up again, and I'm like, what was this? Why did I think this was good?
Yeah. Giant elephant attacks. What does that mean?
It's better to write stuff down when you're dreaming because you know it's going to be good. Like stuff you write when you're drunk, you go, oh man, I must have been really drunk last night.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolute garbage, you know?
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the script. So Broke In, it's very rare, I feel like, to see a fully, two-person screenplay. Obviously, there are tidbits of sort of voiceover of other characters and stuff like that, but for the most part, we just stick with these two characters. And especially for Lauren and I, a two-person script is perfect for what we do, but we even struggle a lot of times, even with shorter scripts, to find it. So what inspired you to tackle a story with just two people?
Well, basically, as you know, you meet a lot of producers that produce a lot of hot air and no money. And this dude said he'd if I write him a two-person script of a super micro budget one, he'll do it. And he never really came through. Plus, I wanted to give it a shot, just want to be as micro budget as possible. Just cut everything to the minimum bone, kind of like punk rock music is to music,
Sure.
Just make everything like a three-chord screenplay,
Yeah.
And I just thought the characters were interesting enough. I could just keep, riffing on it and fill up 90 pages,
Sure.
Yeah. I think that is a sort of a testament to how interesting the characters are, because truthfully reading it, I never felt bored at all with these two characters.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, they were interesting enough to me to keep me intrigued, and also just going back to the idea of budget and things like that. You know, both Lauren and I coming from places with I know my film program at my school wasn't necessarily the best, and then Lauren's was decent, but especially young professionals now, we're trying to do a lot with a little, so we can certainly appreciate the willingness to write for a lower budget, which is really cool.
Yeah, we thankfully have one writer who lives with us, and he's kind of been doing a lot of things of what can I write that we can do in our house.
Yeah, especially in these pandemic times. Yeah.
Right, now playing on your local cell phone, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Precisely.
Kind of thing going, just try to write to make it extra cheap and get something up on the IMDb screen or anywhere, try to make some moolah. Because I have 2 kids, actually. One's in college right now.
Oh, wow.
And the bills pile up, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my impetus, another strong impetus, to say the least,
For sure. So where did John get his personal vendetta against hipsters?
Is there something you would like to talk about?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Where did John get his personal vendetta against hipsters? Like an old lady broke her hip and then stirs a
hipsters,
drink.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Well, I live in Brooklyn, and if you see a lot of these guys with the man buns going on and walking their dogs with the long leash and you can't get by them, it's just like a little, I just want to do a little class thing going on there, too, you know. And plus, he's like from the other side of town, to say the least, and he's just naturally jealous of people who have more money than him because basically he's a lazy, guy.
No,
to
for
say
sure.
The least.
Sure.
His job is breaking into people's houses, which means he doesn't have much on the ball,
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, the more I think back about John, he does feel very New York,
Definitely,
and so I could totally see that other side of New York having that vendetta against hipsters. And I'm glad, Mark, that you're not seeing my hair right now, because you might throw me in that category. It's not quite a man bun yet, but
he just hasn't gotten a haircut in a long time.
That's correct.
Oh, sorry, man.
No worries at all.
From the pandemic, not by choice.
Yeah.
But...
Hey, at least you have here. When I send you my picture, you'll see I need some spray can paint, not for the shower wall, but for my head.
Well, there you go.
No, I got a semi-full head, but
okay.
Yeah, I just made them kind of like to rough around the edges and basically a hater of everybody and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have you seen Vampires versus the Bronx? It's a new Netflix movie.
No, I haven't seen that, actually.
Okay. I mean, it's the Bronx, not Brooklyn, but it's basically talking about, gentrification in these areas, but it's like these vampires who are going in and buying all these businesses so they can turn them into a nest for all of their vampire friends.
Yeah.
But then it's like, this corner store got taken out, and now it's going to be like a juice place,
Yeah, exactly. It's a really fun story.
I was working on a screenplay about a vampire and gentrifying a place, man.
Oh, really? Man, they stole your idea.
Yeah,
they beat you to it on the tubes,
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But yeah, it's worth watching. It's on Netflix. So if you get a chance, definitely check that out.
Thank you. I definitely will, man.
Yeah. So a bit of a different question for you. How do you think this story changes if Elaine and John are just a little bit more competent? For instance, like if John is like a very professional, well-trained thief, and then like Elaine is like a master marksman with a handgun or something. How do you think this story plays out differently?
Well, I guess it's just basically a power struggle. Once she gets his phone, his information, that he's not the boss anymore. He doesn't have any power over her, and just vengeance takes over her, just for what her ex-boyfriend did to her and everything, and what he did to her. And that's why I think that the roles have slightly changed, Plus, she's very pissed off. She's taking her anger on her ex-boyfriend against John too.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes into play too. You get. It's like a person whose baby is caught underneath a car lifted up with one hand. She gets superhuman, laser focus, strength, kind of mental and physical. Well, mental part, anyways.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, kind of going off of that, you have crafted 2 flawed yet ultimately likable characters, and at the beginning, both are clearly going through some things. Is there one character in particular you hope people latch onto, or do you hope that the audience falls in love with both of them?
I was hoping they go to Elaine's side, tell you the truth, because she's the she's got a lot of stuff. Oh, almost swore there. She has a lot of stuff put in her way, and a lot of boundaries, shall we say? And she just bursts through like hopefully it's a happy end, not a semi-happy ending at least.
Yeah.
Like she beat the. I don't want to give my story away.
Yeah.
But,
right.
She's triumphs in the end, shall we say?
Yeah.
For the movie buying public out there.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting because there are of course times where John does seem likable, but I think overall I liked Elaine a lot more.
Me too.
And part of it was I think it seemed partially, and we don't necessarily get John's entire backstory, but it sort of feels like part of John's struggles are brought on by himself, whereas Elaine's struggles are kind of outside factors affecting her. And so looking at it through like that lens, you definitely gravitate more towards Elaine. And then, even though John's circumstances are not great, he's kind of the one who got himself in that circumstances, whereas Elaine is sort of having to deal with these things on her own.
Yeah. Well, and especially at the beginning. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I interrupted you there.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just going to say, at the beginning, we see it as, oh, well, he broke into her house. She was, about to kill herself.
Yeah.
And she caught him, and this is what she's doing. She's kind of like she says, going on a little bit of a power trip.
Yeah.
And, obviously not to spoil your story, but, we do find out that there are some other motivations for him breaking in too.
Yeah.
That put me even more on Elaine's side. So
yeah. And so I think you do a good job of setting that up for sort of more of the payoff at the end. So I like that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to make him a charmer, like people like so you go into school with guys just get by on their good looks and maybe their mother's trust fund money or something, and then when that's taken away, they're sunk.
Exactly.
When people see through their facade and etc.
Totally.
Sure.
Totally. So, sort of final question on the script. So the topic of suicide is sort of approached openly and honestly throughout the script, and is kind of explored in like a humorous way at times as well. So sort of talk about your decision to do this and how you hope the audience is affected by this.
Oh, wow. That's a good one. If any woman who's ever went out with me usually wants to contemplate suicide after, And so,
sure.
No, I try to get maybe people think, wow, what makes somebody go to that level, man, of trying to off yourself, and hopefully there's some little background, and maybe she'll get help at the very end. If I ever rewrite the script, I would have her do something like that too. Actually, maybe have a little more. I like it, but I'm kind of I like more of a. It's too easy for me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was going to do. Actually, try to make it more. I don't want to get too non-PC, but just something better than I had her just walking off into the sunset, kind of which works okay, but and have like a sarcastic happy song playing in the background. But maybe something she seeks help at the very end, just even dialing a hotline or talking to her mom or actually mom's not around.
Yeah.
elderly, her grandma, somebody I would set up earlier in the script.
Sure.
Too,
No,
actually,
for sure. I like that a lot, and sort of in every small way possible, sort of helping to destigmatize getting help for mental health issues.
Because I think definitely a lot of people feel like they need to deal with that stuff on their own.
Yeah.
Or they might think, especially if maybe you don't have a history of depression, but obviously something horrible happened in her life that is causing her to feel this way.
Yeah.
I think people feel like, oh, well, I don't have a mental illness. I don't need to go to a therapist or something, you know? But
But
truly,
I
mean, you should,
Yeah, truly everybody could use a little therapy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our last script question. Now we're going to get into just some questions about you.
Yeah, this
just
is a tangentially script question, I guess.
Yeah.
So this isn't necessarily a spoiler because we see Elaine contemplating suicide at the beginning.
And
but
obviously
later,
we just talked about it.
Yeah, but later in the script, after our excerpt ends, John tries to name the things that are worth living for, including the feeling you get when you put on a new pair of socks. So what is one unique feeling or experience that you think is the most satisfying?
Can I say that on air? I don't know. I just like waking up in the morning, walking outside, man, and knowing that I'm alive another day in this crazy, kooky world we're living in.
Yeah.
You know? And I like a good meal. You know, I'm a regular dude, man. Like
Absolutely.
watching sports and drinking a glass of wine and yelling at my kids all the time. You know?
Sure.
So, what else, man?
One of the things
Go
ahead. Oh, I was just going to say, one of the things that I thought of when hearing this is, for some reason, and I'm sure it has to deal with, you know, like trips I took with my family when I was younger, but I love the smell of like a hotel beach, or a beach hotel's elevator. Which is weird.
It smells like sand.
It smells like sand and like slightly like sunscreen and a little bit like wet dog. But, you know, it's just the perfect scent that I'm like, all right, it's beach time, folks.
Oh wow! I think you just got a co-writing credit, because I'm gonna put that in the script actually.
All right,
nice.
You were free to take that, Mark. That one's for you.
That's a great idea, dude.
Yeah,
I like that.
Thank you.
Next one's $30.
Yeah, first one's free, but we'll see after that. Lauren, do you have any?
Oh, geez, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is a very LA specific thing, but if I've been stuck in traffic on the 101 for like an hour, and then I finally take the exit, and then we're like home free from there. You know, that's a very good feeling.
I think that in general, just getting out of traffic is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. I mean, like we live in Brooklyn, and same here.
Yeah.
You know how it is. It's on and on and on, man.
Oh yeah, and then you finally
the little things take for. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, just gonna say you finally get off that exit, and you're like, whew. It's like you go about a mile in 45 minutes, and you're like, whew.
Yeah,
feels like I could have walked faster than that.
Yeah.
That's probably the main reason I live in Brooklyn, because I can't stand driving. I just don't have the patience for it.
Oh yeah.
It just drives me nuts, and
Sure.
Just the road, etc. But that's not about art. It's just the art of getting a road rage, basically. You know?
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So we like to ask our guests this question a lot, but besides being a writer, have you ever dabbled in any other creative process when it comes to film, like acting, directing, designing, producing, anything like that? And if not, do you have a desire to do so?
Actually, a real long time ago, I was in a comedy troupe, and I got on stage, and I just did not like it at all.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, I just did not have the nerves for let other people like. I was a writer. We were 3 or 4 people.
Sure.
Writers, actually. I just, the ego starts taking over and says, I'm funnier than this guy. His timing's off. You know, what is he doing? He's not staying in the right place. So I got on the stage and I said, dude, you take over. Your timing's fine. You're standing on the right spot and everything. So yeah, I'd rather be a writer, to tell you the truth. I don't really have an interest in anything behind the scenes, you know.
Was it like a sketch
comedy? I could barely figure out a cell phone, let alone a camera. Go ahead.
Oh, was it like a sketch comedy kind of deal?
Excuse me, say again, I'm sorry.
Was it like sketch comedy, or, was it like an improv troupe?
Yes, it was like sketch comedy in East Village a long time.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Long time ago.
Sure.
Before there was Starbucks.
Yeah.
Around East Village.
Sure.
You could have been SNL instead of SNL.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, we were better than SNL, let me tell you.
Well, there you go.
No. It is what it is. I'd rather write, tell you the truth. You know?
Sure.
That's for sure. That's fair.
Are you guys writers too? You guys write too, right? And
we're actors primarily.
Yeah, we're primarily actors. I mean, I think
just wondering.
We've each done just a little bit of writing, but we're definitely more
primary
comfortable acting.
Is acting, yeah.
Okay.
So we're the opposites.
I admire you guys, man. It takes cujones, as they say, you know, as I mispronounce it.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. We appreciate it.
I admire writers, you know.
Yeah, it's for sure. Just that creative side is definitely something that I haven't gotten the hang of yet. So much respect both ways. Much respect both ways.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Not that we love each other.
Yeah. So, do you have a favorite place to write, and what is your biggest distraction to writing?
I could write anywhere, tell you the truth. You know, I could like write in a phone booth practically, man. I write in the subway train a lot. Now, looking at who's taking the wallet out of my pocket, you know, I just will have little ideas come up, and I either talk them into my phone, you know, or I could. But basically, usually in my bedroom, like I have a notepad and I just jot ideas down, or I just open up the old Chromebook and write stuff.
Sure.
If I could write it, yeah. I don't know, just stuff comes to you, you know, now and then for some wacko reason, you know. the neurons start popping in on a page, you know?
Absolutely.
Nice.
That is a skill to have in itself, I
Yeah.
would say. That is very admirable. Because I know a lot of people who are like, I have to go to this specific place, this specific seat in the coffee shop. I have to be turned 3/4 towards the door, and then the
Perfect
inspiration
silence.
will hit. Yeah.
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 So-
I'm not down with I'm not down with all the laptops at Starbucks. You know? That's what we want to do. That's fine, but I just think it's too distracting. You start looking at people and hearing dialogue, and
yeah.
you know,
No,
Sure.
for sure. For sure.
each his own, man.
Yeah.
Each his own, you know.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's helpful if, you want to just rip some dialogue off of the people around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Just like pretend you're listening to music, but actually listen to the conversation at the table beside you.
Actually, sometimes it is better than what I write. You know, maybe I should do that.
There you go. There you go. So we have one final question for you, Mark. We do a segment at the beginning of our show called our Detour of the Week, so where we sort of talk about something that we've watched, whether it be a TV or movie in the past week. So do you have a Detour of the Week you would like to give us? Something that you've seen that you would like to recommend to everyone?
Actually, man, I just watched Double Indemnity, which is kind of where I kind of stole a little bit of that, the cheating wife spouse, for the screenplay. I just watched it again, and it just blows my mind how fresh it is, even though it was made 70 years ago. Billy Wilder is God. Billy Wilder is God. Double Indemnity?
Nice.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I just haven't. I mean, it's been on my list forever, and I just still haven't seen it. So maybe you're finally giving me motivation to watch it.
Double Indemnity is a fantastic movie. I first watched it in a screenwriting class, actually, and then me and my dad recently watched it again. I was at home visiting a couple months ago, and we rewatched it again on Turner Classic Movies, TCM, and it's a great movie, man. I love that, and it holds up really well for a movie from the 40s.
It really does, and so does Shadow of a Doubt, actually, by Hitchcock. Watch that one. That one was one of the first psycho killer movies.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that one. I'll definitely have to check that out.
That is right up there, man. That is awesome. You know, and so yeah, I try to watch the new stuff and the old stuff. You know, now.
Sure.
Yeah.
But usually I've been watching the old stuff because I'm on old stuff too. You know.
Sure.
So I just. Double Indemnity. I'm sorry.
Double Indemnity is a great choice for everyone. If you're listening, go out, find a place to watch it, and watch it.
So, absolutely. Thank you for that shout out.
Yeah, of course. Well, those are the end to all of our questions.
Yeah.
I think. So,
Okay.
Mark, do you have anything you would like to plug? Anything that's coming up in your life?
Not much. My friend and I are writing. We're trying to get. We have a Wolfman screenplay. This guy who has his OCD. He always likes plucking his hair. So one day he gets bit by a werewolf, and he thinks he's turning into a werewolf. So we like to plug that. His name Pluck.
Huh.
Okay. Well, keep us updated on that.
Yeah.
And we'll,
we've been trying to finance that forever, man. But you know how the film business is.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
So
We've been trying to finance this podcast, so I feel you.
Yeah. I know. How many rich uncles do I have? You know?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It starts running out after 2, so.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Mark.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Lauren, right? And Jackson?
Yes.
Yeah, Lauren and Jackson.
That is us. So, if you want to hear more from Mark, if you want to pick his brain, if you want to produce Broke In,
or if you want to read the rest of this script.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna leave his email in the description below.
Thank you.
And I think that's it.
I think that's
For the
it.
most part. So yeah, thank you so much again, Mark. Have a great day. And not really anyone knows this, but happy Halloween. We're recording this on
Happy Halloween to you. Happy Halloween to you too.
Yeah.
Don't scare too many people.
Yeah, we'll do our best. All right, have a good one, Mark.
Great. Okay, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.